If you're going to spend the rest of your life in and out of jail because you don't have the money to pay child support and you don't get to see your kids, I really don't see a downside in an invite to a two-way rifle range by surprise. That's just my opinion. Now, I'm not telling anyone to go do that, but I understand. Hello everybody, Terrence Popp here with another episode live from the Lair. Alright, now I have got dozens of requests to talk about this article in The Guardian about the guy who requests a sword fight with his ex-wife and lawyer to settle a legal dispute. So apparently, David Ostrom, 40, from Peola, Kansas, is asking judge for trial by combat. He also wants 12 weeks so he can secure the proper Japanese samurai sword. Good news is, you can order really good samurai swords from Cold Steel through like eBay. 2 swords, pretty much razor sharp, combat ready. $300 a pop. You can have them in 15 days or less. So 12 weeks. What are you going to order them from Japan? Come on. It's ridiculous. All right. How do I know this? I fucking got some hanging on the wall back there, so I know what I'm talking about. The Warrior series are least expensive, but they are just as effective as the fancy high-polished ones. And when it comes to killing, beauty doesn't mean shit. Cosmetics of a weapon don't mean anything. A gold-plated AK-47 and a standard AK-47 shoot the same range. The bullets go the same speed. Everything's the same. One just looks pretty, the other one doesn't. But they're both just as effective. And they'll do everything an M60 machine gun will do out to 200 meters. Not that I know that or anything, but I'm an 18 Bravo Special Forces Weapons Sergeant. I fired an assload of weapons, so I know. I want to know the backstory here, because for a man to get to this level of frustration that he's willing to die, there's a hell of a backstory here for him to get to this level. Okay, so he's asking an Iowa judge to let him engage a sword fight with his ex-wife and her attorney in a trial by combat that will settle their ongoing legal dispute. Okay, he filed it in January. His former wife, Bridget Ostrom, 38, of Harlan, Iowa, and her attorney, Matthew Hudson, had destroyed him legally. All right, now speaking from experience of being destroyed legally, that happened to me. In 2004, I was the first sergeant for 159 men in a combat zone in Iraq. And by 2007, I was living in my car homeless. I had no money, unemployed. I owed, it was like $1,200 a month in child support, based on a business that I didn't even fucking own anymore. And, you know, the bottom had dropped out of the real estate market. I mean, they fucked me hard. All right. So, yeah. You know, and I lost my kids. It took me a long time to, to get reconnected with them, and had to go back to court, on and off for almost 2 years before I got any kind of satisfaction. And I literally just basically told the judge, I'm not going to stop. You can throw me in jail. I don't fucking care. But I can guarantee you that the minute they put me in fucking jail, I'm going to go on a hunger strike, and I'm going to fucking cost this county an assload of fucking cash. Because I was unemployed, and I'll fucking just bankrupt on all the debt, and you can fuck off. So needless to say, they kind of acquiesced to my fucking demands.
Zuck the cuck drinks water like a duck, but he also drinks your data. So tell him and Google to shove your data up their schwing-schwangs by downloading the Brave browser. It's free, blocks online advertising, and protects your privacy and data from evil tech companies. You only see ads if you want to see them, and you get cryptocurrency for your attention. Don't let Zuck use you to make a buck. Download Brave by clicking on the link down below.
Let's see. I think I've met Mr. Hudson absurdity with my own absurdity. Ostrom said, adding that his former wife could choose Hudson to act as her champion. This whole thing between husband and wife dueling has been going on thousands of years. Except back in the day, you wanted a divorce, you basically had to fight to the death, you know. And I sent some pictures to my producer. There's an old medieval manuscript. It shows the man standing in a pit and the woman, fighting him. They fought to the death, man. So this is nothing new. Now, this is typical lawyer shit here. Hudson argued in his legal response that because the duel could end in death, such ramifications likely outweigh those of property tax and custody issues. Okay, now when it comes to your children, and when it comes to being, your life fucking ruined, I really don't think that those ramifications outweigh his death. Yeah, I mean, this is just my opinion. And Mr. Hudson should probably worry his fucking balls off, because if he's causing so much animosity in this individual that he wants to meet him on the field of battle and fight to the death, he should probably be concerned he's going to catch a bullet, because that's the next step here. And to be honest, I don't blame the guy at all. I mean, the laws are so stacked against the dude, and the attorneys, basically coach these women to lie, to make all kinds of false allegations. Children and dudes are losing their kids, and they're just getting crushed. And if you're gonna spend the rest of your life in and out of jail because you don't have the money to pay child support and you don't get to see your kids, I really don't see a downside in an invite to a two-way rifle range by surprise. That's just my opinion. Now, I'm not telling anyone to go do that, but I understand. I would suggest not doing such a thing in and around the courthouse. People probably are caught in a routine where they travel around town at the same time. Things could be arranged. I kind of cover this in my book because it's, it's a book of evil. There's a lot of lessons in there. You should probably pick it up. Now, the judge, his name is Craig Dismeyer, said in his own filing Monday that he won't be issuing a decision anytime soon, citing irregularity, on both side motions and responses. So the judge is basically saying, fuck it, this is stupid. If I were the judge, I would pull everyone into the chambers and say, what the fuck is going on here? Because this is getting serious. Because when you cannot get justice in court, it's going to spill out into the real world. People are going to seek justice in the street. I have seen this phenomena happen all over the world. Happens all the time in South America. Happens all the time in the Middle East. It's unfortunate, but chances are it's going to come to that here in the United States. Now, he does make a good argument here that, dueling and trial by combat, there's nothing specifically against it. And he's pretty much accurate. Some states back in the day passed laws against dueling, but not all of them did. A lot of them didn't have problems with dueling. So it was a non-issue. And perhaps Kansas and Iowa never got around to actually having mutual combat laws put in place. Though you could, instead of a duel to death, you could challenge them to a mutual combat fisticuffs in the street. That way, the chance of being killed goes down a lot more than if you're fighting with swords. And you can still get some satisfaction of pummeling this asshole, into next week. Break his nose, knock out some teeth, fracture an orbital, collarbone. Then you go to town on the ribs, work your way down, kick in the balls, and kick out the kneecap. Boom! You can do it all in like 5 seconds, maybe 8. Especially if you're schooled up on it. And since it's a mutual combat and you both agree, your liability goes way down. Way down. Because you assume the risk of fighting a guy and shit happens. So, I mean, I worked as a process server. I read probably half a dozen lawsuits where an individual was trying to sue a combatant in civil court for injuries, and really didn't go anywhere because, you know, these individuals willingly walked out into parking lots or into the middle of a gym and decided to, you know, go mano a mano, and one guy got hurt, you know, significantly and the other one didn't. So, yeah, maybe we should have, you know, gym classes where they teach boxing like they used to do in the 60s and early 70s. So, you know, you can learn how to throw down and defend yourself because, you know, those skills are rapidly disintegrating in our society. You know, and this is like, this is this typical legal lawyer weasel bullshit that they typically do. Now, this guy could probably, you know, file a legal challenge against this lawyer's law license with the state bar, you know, stating that, you know, he's doing, you know, unethical bullshit, coaching the wife to whatever's going on in the backstory, and it's just completely unethical, you know, and you could do that. You know, he could, you know, file a, you know, federal lawsuit against the county for sexual discrimination because it's obvious the laws are not being applied equally between the woman and the man. If the man is getting to the point where he's willing to just throw down, he can also do a federal lawsuit for due process in regards to his children being removed from his custody. He could cost the county a lot of cash by doing those few things. He could also, you know, do the poison pen and destroy both of everyone's reputation by writing shit about them, you know, and sending out to their neighbors and employers and what have you. You know, you could do that. I mean, there's all kinds of, you know, administrative violence bullshit you can do here. And you could do it through the behind the cloak of anonymity, and you could deny the whole goddamn thing. Okay, because the way it is now, we live in some crazy red tape bureaucracy, and all it takes is just getting one little piece of tape stuck on one person, and he's going to be spun up like a fucking spider. It'll take him years to get unspun from that fucking that bullshit. It'll fuck your life up. But hey, that's just me. What do I know? I'm just an old grunt who's seen a lot of shit, seen a lot of people get fucking ruined, and a lot of guys kill themselves over this shit. Like I covered this when, you know, I still work under Second Class Citizen, which is a 501c nonprofit. I did a study on soldier suicide, and whenever I heard about a soldier who committed suicide, I would do a Google search. This was back before Google was all fucked up, and now they have all filters and crazy shit now. But back then, you could Google anything and pretty much get it. And I would either get the obituary or there'd be an article. I would copy and paste it onto a Microsoft Word document, and then I would do a find and replace or a search. And I would search for divorce, estranged, you know, child support, custody. And there's like 2 other words in there. And 70% of the time in these suicides, these trigger words came up in the searches, which is telling me that these dudes are killing themselves, and 70% of them have some kind of contact with either friend of the court or divorce court or both. I wonder if they're related somehow. I don't know. And why is it men kill themselves, you know, a rate of 4.3 times more than women? Of course, women are killing themselves a little bit more than they used to now, and everyone's all upset about it. But men have been killing themselves hand over fist, since the 60s. Nobody gives a shit. Because, let's face it, nobody gives a shit about men in our society, and that's why you dudes should, just walk away. Say fuck it. When enough of you say fuck it and walk away, the system will come down and it'll be a big, huge reset. A lot of people are going to die. It'll be ugly as shit. And perhaps we'd learn something as a species. That there's a natural order to things. And when you fuck with that, shit goes south. All right, I really hope you guys enjoyed this one about this current event here. I personally want to see this mutual combat go down. I would really love to see these people get whacked in a legal duel, which it's not legal because it's barbaric. Even though we should bring back dueling, and I'm gonna put a link in the description to the video I did in the past in regards to dueling. Because they can make a whole industry out of it, It'd be great. You can televise them on TV. You can sell advertising that go to your personal account. You have special places built for it. It'd be great. But that's just wishful thinking. Anyway, gentlemen, you guys take it easy.